I am alive after a heart attack 6 weeks later. Here is a picture of me several years before I started my carnivore diet. Here is a picture of me afterwards. And here is a picture of me of where I ended up. Wanted to give kind of my thoughts after talking to several top cardiologists about what I think happened along the journey and where my thoughts are now. Just wanted to give y'all an update. The carnivore diet, I would say that the pros now that I see with it is that sugar and processed food is killing us. I think that those are the primary drivers of the inflammatory process within the arteries. I myself was very discouraged because I had a 99% blockage of my LAD. I just turned 51, relatively young. That can be very discouraging for any of us as humans, looking and hoping to have a life filled with longevity, joy, and just enjoyment, right? I guess I said joy twice. But all that said and done, I get pretty, it's always like annoying to me whenever someone gets a heart attack or they get cancer. We as humans, I feel like we always try to explain it away. What do I mean when I say explain it away? We always try to associate blame to that person. You know, you hear someone gets cancer, it's always the first question, did you smoke? Uh, you get a heart attack, it's pretty much the same thing. Did you smoke? Were you fat, etc.? So there was of course a time that I was extremely obese, and a lot of people would point the finger at me. There's backstory even behind that. I was always thin my entire life. I developed an addiction problem and ended up having to go to the hospital to get over the physical hurdles of that addiction. And during that stint in the hospital, a physician prescribed me a medication to help me to recover. And that medication, it's well known, this medication causes weight gain in a lot of patients. I put on 50 pounds in about 3 months, and I was never able to get that weight off until I found an answer in the carnivore diet. So certainly you want to stay at a healthy weight. But along the way, I would say that in talking with the cardiologist about how this actually occurred at such a early age, there didn't appear to be any more significant blockage within all there's three main arteries of the heart. He felt like this was probably a 20 to 30% soft lesion. And he just described it as a bag of luck lesion. Somehow, the caps ruptured or what have you, the arterial wall broke, and it quickly went from 30% to 99, putting my life, of course, at risk. Looking back, just me having family history, I think that the only thing that probably would have been able to save me would be medication. I've always been leery against statins. I think that that's unnecessarily. I think that was a mistake. I do think that if I would have been on statin the last 20 years, I don't think that I would have had this event. Given my family history, now everyone's different. Particularly some of the new statins that are coming out, the PCSK9 inhibitors, I feel like are going to be like a next generation just because they tend to have less side effects and the metabolization as far as causing liver problems and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, there's a lot more upside and a lot less downside. So I think that those would be a game changer. As far as the carnivore diet, I'm still not super comfortable as far as eating high amounts of saturated fat, especially after having a heart attack victim. I do recognize and think that there's many people out there that could probably do this and not have any issues or problems. Everyone's different. Looking back, I would have probably wanted to be evaluated by a physician and followed and get a calcium score or some kind of baseline to see where I was at before I started this. But anyway, that's where I'm at. I would have said be more leery and know your family history, know your baseline, and consider medications